one warned me that menopause would be this terrible, and I'm here to share my personal experience with y'all, the struggles that I have had at age 51, along with the 5 things that have helped me tremendously. And honestly, I wish someone had made this video so I could have watched it before I went through menopause, because I think it could have saved me a lot of pain. So before I get started, I would love for you to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you are premenopause, menopause, and what struggles you have had, maybe like the biggest struggle that you have had going through menopause, because I think it's just like so important that we all make each other not feel alone at this stage in our life, because it doesn't have to be the end. In fact, if you follow these 5 tips that have really changed my life, I think that midlife can actually be the beginning for all of us. And after each tip, I'm actually going to be sharing a menopause-friendly outfit, if you will, of clothes that are comfortable, because let's be honest, when we're going through menopause, sometimes we feel bloated, sometimes we feel blah, and we don't feel like getting dressed. But all of these outfits are comfortable, but they're also very stylish. And as always, everything I am talking about will be linked down below in my description box. Okay, if I had to pick my biggest struggle going through menopause, I would say moodiness, hands down, by far the worst thing that happened to me. I was moody, I felt anxious, sometimes I feel depressed, sometimes I feel sad, and I just honestly wasn't feeling like myself. And for me, that's what I would write down below in the comments. That is my #1 struggle, and I hate feeling like that. But the good news is I realized it wasn't me, it was actually my hormones that were making me feel that way, because when we go through menopause, that's what happens, is our hormone levels are basically all whacked out. And so tip #1 is me finding Midi Health, because once I found Midi Health, they helped me with all of the things I just mentioned. And so I want to take a moment and thank Midi Health for sponsoring this video. Midi Health is basically a virtual online care clinic whose mission is rooted in understanding women. So this made me feel so seen and so heard. This company is actually created for women and by women, which is another reason I love Midi, because I'm also a woman-owned business, and so I love supporting other women-owned businesses. They also accept insurance in all 50 states, because that is a question that I personally had, which was like, oh my gosh, are they going to accept my insurance? And yes, they did. So this is also very comforting, because obviously it makes it more affordable if they do accept your insurance. And so about the time I entered menopause, because like I said, I'm 51 and I've been pre-menopausal for about the last 3 years. And some of you know that I also went through a divorce about 2.5 years ago. So I had the divorce in my head, plus I had the fact that I was obviously going through menopause. And so these 2 things alone created a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety in my life. Plus I started dating again. As you all know, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I'm very open and honest with my dating life. And that also has created a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. So me finding Midi Health has really helped me with all of that. And you're probably wondering, how does it work? Well, it's actually very simple. The first thing you do is basically you click the link down below in my description box and you book your first virtual visit. It really is that easy. The second step is meeting with your Midi clinician. And then the third step is actually where the help comes in, because you will start to integrate all of the tips and recommendations that your Midi clinician has recommended for you. And here's the good news. Like I said, I was one struggling with moodiness and sadness and anxiety. 92% of people reported improvement in these areas in just 2 months after using Midi. So if you want to start feeling better, if you're also struggling with the things I mentioned, or maybe some of the other things that we all struggle from during menopause, hot flashes, weight gain, bloating, lack of energy, any of those things, Midi can absolutely help you. So simply click the link down below and join the 200,000 plus women who also love and trust Midi, including myself. So here's a super comfortable outfit that you can wear during menopause or after, or even before premenopause, because it is incredibly comfortable. This is a really great black hoodie. It's so incredibly soft. Like I literally feel like I'm wearing my pajamas when I have on this hoodie and these wide leg pants. In fact, I'm traveling in a few weeks and I think this will be the exact outfit that I wear to the airport. I do need to take these pants to the tailor. Obviously, they're a little bit too long for me, and I am 5'4" for reference, but I paired them with these fabulous chocolate brown sneakers. These are a minimal sneaker, which by the way is very on trend right now in fall and winter, is like this very minimal sneaker. I absolutely love these, and would you believe they're literally under $50? They look like some Prada sneakers, but because they're from Nordstrom Rack, they're a fraction of the price and so incredibly comfortable. I feel like I'm walking on clouds. All right, the second thing that I did that helped my menopause journey tremendously in my pre-menopause journey is getting on bioidentical hormones. So here's what I'm on, because I know you guys are going to ask. I'm on progesterone, I'm on estrogen, and I'm on testosterone. So the first thing I do, progesterone pill, I take that every single night before I go to bed. It has helped me sleep so much better. Before I was on progesterone, that's one of the things that I suffered from also was lack of sleep and basically waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall asleep for like 2 hours. That's so incredibly frustrating. So taking the progesterone has really helped my sleep. The second thing, the estrogen patch, I basically change my patch out every Monday and every Thursday. And that has helped. I feel like it helped my mood. It helped some of my anxiety. It also helped with a little bit with my energy. I just felt better once I started doing these hormones. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my experience with testosterone. At first, I tried the testosterone pellet. I did not like this because it basically made my hair fall out, so I didn't do that. Now I use the testosterone cream, and I do use just a tiny bit amount every single day, and it has helped me tremendously. I would say the main thing with the testosterone is it helps give me energy in the late afternoon, because that's another symptom I was noticing, was that I was extremely fatigued and extremely tired late afternoon, like to the point where I absolutely have to lay down and take a nap. I just can't even function. So since I've been using the testosterone cream, my hair isn't falling out and I'm feeling more energetic late afternoon. And I also feel like I have just like a more well-rounded sense of well-being. I don't know if it's from the testosterone alone or just from all the hormones and also the Midi health clinician that's helped me so much, but I think it's a combination of these things. But I love to just pay attention to my symptoms. Like, am I, having my breasts were a little bit sore in the beginning, so that meant I had too much estrogen. So my doctor lowered my estrogen level because I had soreness in my breasts. Other things, if you're irritable, if you can't sleep, maybe that means you have too much progesterone or not enough progesterone. Recently, I realized that I wasn't being able to sleep very well and I was a little bit irritable. So we increased my progesterone just a tiny bit. And so I'm trying that right now, and I'm really keeping up with like the symptoms of my body, because your body will tell you everything. So I think it's really important to pay attention to what your body's telling you when you're trying these bioidentical hormones. But also it is important that you do get your blood taken. I get my blood taken every 6 months. I get my hormone levels looked at so that we can adjust accordingly. So I think that's also important. But those two things together, you want to make sure you pay attention to your blood work, but also your symptoms and how your body feels. And I almost feel like that one is more important than the blood work, because your body never lies to you. And honestly, it is the biggest indicator as to what's going on with you. So just pay attention to that. I found that very helpful going through this menopause journey. All right, look, number 2, this is the most comfortable skirt. So if you have to get dressed up, but you don't feel like wearing anything super tight or binding like jeans or like a tight dress or something like that, this skirt I really love because it has an elastic waist. It also has fabric over your stomach, so in case you're bloated, it does a great job of hiding that challenge area. And again, it is so incredibly comfortable. It's also dressy enough. I also feel like you could wear it to tons of different places. You could wear it to Sunday brunch. You could wear it on a girls' night out, a date night. You could wear it like with sneakers and a simple white t-shirt on the weekends. The possibilities are endless because this super comfortable knit skirt by Staud is so incredible. I paired it with this amazing black leather bomber jacket. This one is from Quince. It is real leather, and for a real leather jacket, honestly, it's like the best priced real leather jacket I have seen because it's such high quality, but because it's from Quince, it's actually 40% less than if you were to buy it from a regular retailer. So I can't even believe the price because the leather is buttery soft, the fit is impeccable. And then I did these fabulous snake print kitten heels. I just did a video on shoes never to wear after 40. I will be sure and link that one down below because that's absolutely a must watch. All right, the third thing that I have done that has helped me in my menopause journey tremendously is not drinking alcohol as much. I've never really been a big drinker, but even just drinking like once a week started to feel like too much for me, because anytime I would have like a glass of red wine when I would go out with my girlfriends or go on a date, I would come home and lo and behold, I would fall asleep quickly, but I would wake up in the middle of the night. I would have hot flashes. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep for like 2 hours. It was literally so frustrating. So for me, red wine absolutely does not mix with the hormones that are going on in my body in menopause. So I definitely have skipped the red wine. Now I will have a glass of Prosecco every once in a while, but even that affects my sleep and just I don't feel good when I drink alcohol. So now when I go out with my girlfriends, I will order a glass of Topo Chico with a lime and a cherry. Sometimes I'll ask them to put it in a pretty glass with some ice. So it looks like I'm drinking a cocktail, but I'm really not. And if anybody ever asks me like, oh my gosh, why aren't you drinking? Which people don't, but sometimes they do. All I say is, you know what, when I drink, I never sleep that well. So tonight I'm just going to go with Topo Chico. And then people don't even care. They just sort of overlook it. So that's kind of what I've trained myself to say, because yeah, you want to fit in. And if all my girlfriends are having a drink and then I don't have a drink, it does feel a little bit awkward, but I value myself enough to be able to say no. And if these are really my true friends, they won't care if I'm not having a drink. Leave me a comment down below. Do you agree? Do you feel like you can't sleep or like you feel terrible the next day when you drink, or is it just me? So here's another super casual outfit, very comfortable. These jeans are by Paige. They're a soft barrel jean. They're not like that exaggerated barrel because I don't love that. But because they sit a little bit lower on the waist, again, they're super comfortable. So if you're bloated and just not feeling it, you don't want anything tight, these jeans are perfect. And then I did this super comfortable bomber jacket. It's incredibly soft. I decided to leave it buttoned and do the half tuck because that's kind of a cool new way to wear your bomber jacket this fall. And then I did those same chocolate brown under $40 sneakers. Like I said, these feel like you're walking on clouds. And for the price, they're a no-brainer. Now, if you wanted to dress up the look, you could do the snake print kitten heels as well. I love this outfit with those heels too, because I just wanted to show y'all sometimes it's all about the shoes. When you have on a casual pair of shoes, obviously your outfit's extremely casual, but just changing your shoes, basically I put on the snake print heels. This had such an impact on the entire outfit, which is why, like I said, you should definitely go watch that video that I did on the 5 shoes that could be aging you up to 10 years if you're over 40. So that's a definite must watch. Tip number 4, and this one is probably one of the most important tips, and that is exercising daily. Even if that means I go on a 10 or 15 minute walk with my dog, that counts as exercise. But moving my body every single day has helped me so much. This also has been scientifically proven to slow down the aging process. It increases good hormones that you have in your body, good chemicals that you have in your brain, like serotonin and dopamine and oxytocin and all the good things. So exercising is freaking awesome. So the one type of exercise that I think makes me feel the best, and it's like what I do religiously, I've been doing it for 20 years and I've talked about this before, but it is Bikram hot yoga. There's a hot yoga studio in Dallas. It's called Pure Yoga. It's on Abrams and Mockingbird. Like I said, I've been doing it for over 20 years because I feel my best after I do this. And I'm not talking about looking my best. I'm talking about feeling my best in my body and in my brain after I do hot yoga. It's also been scientifically proven, hot yoga, to decrease anxiety and decrease depression. And I absolutely feel so much better after I do it. It's 90 minutes, 105 degrees. You sweat like crazy. Like I literally look like I just stepped out of the shower when I get done doing this yoga practice. But it's absolutely worth it because, like I said, I feel like $1,000,000. And if I didn't have this yoga practice in my life, I probably would be a basket case. I don't even know what would happen, but I highly recommend it. But if hot yoga is not for you, I get it. Just like walking, lifting weights, that's another thing I do twice a week. In addition to my hot yoga, is I lift weights, light weights, because it's going to help with your bones, because as we age, our bones basically become more brittle and things like that. I personally have osteopenia, so it's very important that I lift weights to really strengthen my bones. And so that's something that I've added to my exercise routine in the last few years. Okay, another fabulous dress that is so comfortable and it's not binding. It's a little bit more on the form-fitting side versus like super tight is this fabulous navy blue dress from Abercrombie & Fitch. It is ribbed, so it's wrinkle-free. It has this really cool neck scarf that you can put on, and it looks kind of like a choker, so it's very tastefully sexy. It kind of adds a little bit of edge to this dress. I paired it with these beautiful chocolate brown pointy toe mules. The heel height on these shoes aren't that high, so they're actually pretty wearable, and chocolate brown suede is all the rage right now in fall and winter in terms of the shoe trends that we're seeing right now. And tip number 5, and this one might surprise you, but that is limiting my time on my phone during the day, but especially at night before I go to bed. In fact, I turn my phone on airplane mode when I go to sleep, because I have heard that the energy frequencies from having Wi-Fi on your phone, on your nightstand next to you, affects your sleep. And so since I've started doing this, I have noticed that my sleep has gotten better. Also, I don't allow myself to be on my phone and like scrolling through Instagram or TikTok, after like 6:30 p.m. because that also stimulates your brain. It keeps you awake. It's also been proven to increase anxiety and depression. So let me just say this. If you want to be happier and feel calmer and just like a better version of yourself, spend the least amount of time on your phone as possible. Go outside, have a walk, go play with your dog. Like, I feel so good when I bake something, or when I go play with my dog, or when I go visit a friend, like have a face-to-face interaction with somebody, go over to a neighbor's house just for fun, just to say hi. Like, human interaction is so important at this stage in our life. And since I'm an empty nester and I'm divorced, I do live alone and I work from home. So it's very important for me to get off of my phone and to go out into the real world and make interactions with people, because there's nothing better than true human connection. And I just think that makes the world of difference. So stay off your phone as much as possible. It has helped me tremendously. And the last look I want to share is a denim look. These are probably one of the most comfortable pairs of jeans in my closet. These are by Madewell. They're called the Low Slung Baggy, and I absolutely love them. They're just super cool, laid back. I went to Austin last week with my friend Kathy. We had so much fun, and I wore them in the car to travel for 3 hours because they're that comfortable. I paired them with an easy black bodysuit, and then this is a great Madewell cropped army jacket. It's more of like this updated version of the army jacket, because like that long army jacket that hits you right around like your hips or a little bit below that everyone was wearing, that's totally out of style now. And instead I would opt for a cropped army jacket because that's definitely more on trend. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite tip was. And again, what's your biggest struggle if you're also going through menopause. I also want to thank Midi Health again for sponsoring this video. To book your first virtual visit, you just simply click the link down below in my description box. For more style information, you can head over to my blog, SoHeather.com, and on Instagram, I am SoHeatherBlog. And in case no one has told you yet today, you are beautiful, you are worthy, and I love you just the way you are. I will look forward to seeing you in my next video.